Hello and welcome to the Game of Miles podcast, where Daddy and Papa take a game of inches and turn it into 1,000 miles. We got a great one for you this week. It's week 14, last week of the regular season, and with me, as always, I have my co-host, Mr. Jake Laposha. Jake, how we doing this week?
I am doing well. I apologize for not being on the pod last week. I was actually ill, and it would just not have been suitable for me to be on the podcast. But Spelly, thank you for stepping in and handling that by yourself. And I think that speaks to our dedication and work ethic for the league.
No problem. I figured I would at least put something out there. It definitely wasn't as good as when we're both on camera, but
Right.
just did our segments and at least gave everybody an update for Mansgiving. Great event, by the
Yes.
way. Thank you all for coming out and really enjoyed having you over. And
Yes,
had
I
a
think it
race,
was.
smoked some cigars. It was a good night.
I think we voted. I think that was the best Mansgiving to date. I think is what it was voted on.
Okay.
In GroupMe on Sunday. So I think that it's been. You know what? I'm just excited because we had Mansgiving. We got to see Maury. For 72 hours. That was fun.
Shout out to Maury
Shout out to Maury. Maury flew back. He made everyone's week. So we got that. I got the Christmas tree plugged in. I got chili in the crock pot. Christmas is coming up. It's the last season of, regular season game of fantasy football. Christmas is coming. There's rumor of a Chiefs chili watch party in the works. There's a lot going on, and I'm just excited.
A lot. And Mr. Alex Harmon is coming back to Kansas City on let's see, I think he said Monday, December 27th for that evening. So I know a lot of you are teachers and have that week off. I actually have that week off as well, so I'll be down to party, but it'll be a good rest of the month. And man, to add fantasy football to all that, especially with this week we got coming up and then the next three, we got a good month of fantasy football coming for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be, it's finally here. The playoffs, it's exciting. And we're here to ruffle some feathers in this podcast. So hold on to your hats, boys. Spelly, let's get into it.
All right, that sounds great. And so, of course, we're going to start with Check Yourself, which is presented by BJ's Hardware, the #1 hardware store in all the universe, not just America, not just the world, but if there's hardware stores in the universe, we are beating them. And Post, what do we got this week for some promos and deals?
This week is a good one. We have 25% off candy, and we're a hardware store, so we have the good candy: Circus peanuts, lemon drops, Bitto honeys. We have everything. So if you come and you got to walk through our little aisle. That's where we get you to buy all the little knickknacks and stuff before you get to the cash register. That's where all the candy is. 25% off candy this week at BJ's Hardware.
I know my favorite is the saltwater taffies.
Saltwater taffies.
Produced locally here in the home state of Missouri. Yes. Well, I guess for you, Missouri and Branson. So locally sourced, just supporting local businesses. But yes, that is a great promotion. So come on down and get your candy. But with that, on Check Yourself, we are going to look at Grant's predictions from last week, and he's still on a heater. Not quite perfect, but still on a heater, and very impressive just for the whole year in general.
Damn near perfect. Grant, you need to go to the casino because another hot week, and I think that's 2 6-0s, 2 5-1s. And this week he went 5-1 as well. He picked Spelly, Kyle, Fathom, me, and himself, and the only one he missed was Rich versus Lang. He picked Lang, and Rich won that one. So Grant, overall record of 56-22, which is a 72% percentage.
Yep, just looking at the last 5 weeks, he has 3 6-0s and 2 5-1s. So very impressive. That's good. I mean, it's very impressive. I think if I had to guess at the beginning of the year, I would have said 50% would have been.
Oh yeah.
On average, just anybody's guess, but 72% is rocking it. All right. So up next, we had the slap bet showdown. Like I said, not really a showdown anymore. Kamara hasn't played for a while. I did see he was going to play this week, or he's scheduled to play. So maybe he will get on track to making this a little bit closer. Jonathan Taylor does finally have his bye. We were talking about that all year. So unless Kamara is going to score like 150 points this week, it's just out of reach. But Kamara 142, Taylor 290, just
Yeah,
I hope this slap goes down on Man Weekend.
I think it has to. With all the high, the bet was made at Man Weekend. I think it has to be executed at Man Weekend. Grant, I don't know what you're thinking, but it has to be at Man Weekend, and we're going to make it happen at Man Weekend. So keep your paws in your pockets, Grant. Until then, let Spelly do some face exercises. But yeah, Taylor, I mean, he's just, what can you say about him? He's on your team. I truly believe he kept you from being squid. So, I mean, he turned your team around pretty dang quick. So.
And I'm really going to miss him this week. We'll kind of break that down here in a little bit with our playoff scenarios, but going to miss him, but we'll see how it turns out. So with that, we do have our power rankings and not a lot of movement, but there is one note here. So why don't you take us to the top half to start us off?
All right. So we got our number 1 is me. 2 is Kyle. 3 is Grant, who's in a little bit of hot water from what I hear. And then 4 is Fathom. Those are the 4 division leaders. And then right behind Adam is Rich at number 6, who is sitting in a wild card spot.
We got Rich at 5 and Lang at 6.
What? Oh, you're right. Sorry.
So if the playoffs were to start today, those would be your top 6 and your playoff people. And going down to number 7 is me, and I am the only other person in the bottom half that is in contention for the playoffs. The rest is going to be the squid bracket with Maury at 8, Jim at 9, Scott at 10. Mr. Luke Williams, we're going to pause here. Mr. Luke Williams at number 11. Congratulations on moving out of the bottom spot and solidifying yourself as number 11 and putting Spencer down at number 12. Congratulations, sir.
You know what? It's a big week for Willie. He got a new nickname, which is Big Nuts, and then he also moved from 12 up to 11 this week. I might apologize. My rankings were not in the screen, so I screwed that one up. But yes, congrats to Willie. Highlight of the week so far.
And I think that's just one step in the right direction for him to not be squid, as we predicted many podcasts ago.
Oh, yeah.
But that is our power rankings, and we'll go one more week with our power rankings because we do have quite the week coming up as far as playoff implications and scenarios. So that's what we're going to break down next. We're going to talk about the wild card first, and then we're going to get down into some seeding and the division leaders and the seeds that they qualify for. So I'm going to break down the wild card since I'm actually in contention for this, and then I'll let you go down to the division leaders. But
perfect.
Right now, we've been talking about this on GroupMe a little bit, but there's 3 teams in contention for the wild card. Well, and I guess I should kind of say 4. I guess Fathom is in contention for a wild card spot because in a very unlikely scenario, Lang, if Adam loses and Lang wins, they will both have an 8-6 record. And Lang holds the head-to-head tiebreaker. So Lang could still win his division, and Adam could drop down into the wild card spot.
Yikes!
So that's one implication there. They are going to battle. I don't know. I think Adam will end up winning. The predictions for that game right now is 101 to 115 against Harmon. I'll leave the commissioner that predictions video, but Lang is going up against Spencer this week, so I do think he'll get that win, but we'll see what happens there. But anyway, if I win against Rich, I'm in, no matter what. If I lose, then Lang could get in with a loss, and if I win, Rich could still get in if Lang loses. So kind of a weird situation going on. I hope I'm saying all this right. I get confused talking about it. I know everybody does, but I don't know. Worst case scenario.
Basically, the way I look at it is if you win, you just got to win when you're in. Lang
Most
needs to
likely,
win.
if I win, I'm
Yes.
in, and then it's going to be between Rich and Lang for that last spot. And
They need to win, and they also need a little bit of help.
and if Lang wins, which Lang I believe is going to beat Spencer this week. So if it holds true and I beat Rich, it's going to be me and Lang for the wild card. So
yeah, that could be fun because while I was looking at the playoff bracket before this, and obviously seedings can change, but if you actually, I don't know, because the playoff bracket and Sleeper doesn't have seedings on it for some reason.
Yeah,
Sleeper's top notch.
Yeah, best platform in the world. You can't even see what teams are seeded. The tiebreaker isn't even customizable. So we are just a shout out to everybody for a reminder for Mansgiving. And if you weren't at Mansgiving, we did decide that we are going to keep the same tiebreaker format as in the past. Right now, Sleeper does a tiebreaker on record and then points for and then points against. Of course, in the past, we've done record head to head, then points for. So we will be doing the latter for the tiebreakers. But anyway, going to be crazy. For myself, I just have to beat Rich. He's battling some issues. Keenan Allen is on the COVID list. We'll see if he plays. Joe Burrow is expected to play, but battling that finger issue. Taysom Hill is battling a finger issue as well. So I think it's going to be a pretty good matchup. I'm projected to win, but I don't think that means anything. It's too close to call. So we'll see how that plays out. And the battle between Adam and Lang
that's going to be
crazy. The only thing that's really I think Lang's going to win. The only thing that's throwing me off is Adam could drop one to Harmon this week, and Harmon could really just come in and just ruin some seeding right now.
That's the nature of the game when you're in the losers bracket, is A, to not be split, and 2, to ruin seasons. Another game to watch is me and Kyle. We are battling for 1-2 seeds, and the winner of our game this week gets the 1 seed, and loser will be the 2 seed.
Yep.
So Grant has 2 potential games of the week this week for his predictions.
That is very true. That's a tough one to pick against. If I were, oh my gosh, and I'm looking at your guys' predictions right now, or your
134 to 133. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys all pretty healthy?
Yes. The only
rosters, it looks like
thing yeah, we're healthy. I mean, obviously McCaffrey is out for the rest of the season. Thank God.
AJ Brown is on our
I'm
Kyle's still banged up, but for the most part, everybody's healthy.
Mixon is the only one who I think is semi-injured. I think he tweaked his neck, but he still put up pretty good numbers last week. But
he's out sick on Wednesday, it says, but I don't think it's a COVID
I didn't even read that. So I mean, it should be a good one.
It's not COVID.
No. They need to shoot him up with whatever they shoot players up with, and he needs to play. So just like in Varsity Blues when the running back goes down and the coach wants to stick the needle in him. So, but no, we're pretty healthy. We'll see what happens, but it should be a good one. We're the two top teams battling for 1-2 seeds.
Yeah, and Kyle, of course, is just still plagued with injuries. We'll see if he can. He had a good week last week. We'll see if he can continue that or if he's going to regress again. But then, I mean, those are just the 1-2. That's pretty set in stone with the win there. But then the 3 and 4 seeds, along with the wild card, that is a huge mess as well. I have all these notes typed out here to go into who could get the 3 seed, who could get the 4 seed, but it's going to get too confusing. I'm probably not going to speak to it very elegantly, but let me throw out some head-to-heads. So between Grant, Adam, and Lang, who I believe will have the best chances at they're the only chances of the 3 to 4 seeds, but Adam has the head-to-head over Grant. Grant has the head-to-head over Landon, and Landon has the head-to-head over Adam. So nobody's just like really sitting on top here, king of the world. They all have a scenario where they could be I don't think Adam or since Grant has the head-to-head over Landon,
Mhm.
Landon can't be the 3 seed. That's either going to be
Yeah.
Adam or Grant. So
Right.
because Grant is a game up on Landon right now. So the best case for Landon, they have the same record, but Grant has the head-to-head over him. So Grant could be the 3 seed in that scenario. Adam would need Grant to lose and him to win to get that 3 seed. Excuse me. Adam has the head-to-head over Grant, so vice versa on that. So again, not going to get into it. It's too complicated. Go on Sleeper and
I need
do
a
your
white. I
research.
need a whiteboard and a map, or I don't know what's going. There is so many scenarios going on right now.
We need the meme of Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with
Mhm.
like the
All the-
corkboard and all of the
Yeah.
pictures and yarn going to everything.
It's like a crime
That's us
scene, like
right
with the
now.
FBI. And they have like the guy, and they have like the string going everywhere. And I'm
Yep,
so basically,
exactly.
I don't know what's going on. If you don't just win, if you just win, that's all you can do. And if you need some help,
Mhm.
you better pray to God and see if He can help you out.
Yeah,
So-
I think the biggest things are the 1 and 2 seeds are locked up. It just depends who's who, and you both get buys. So
Yeah.
you're really fighting for seeding in 2 weeks.
Correct.
Between Adam, Lang, and Grant, the 3 and 4 seeds are kind of there, and then between me, Rich, and Lang, just those wild card spots. So
Mhm.
Lang is definitely the most interesting, going from the 4 seed all the way to out of the playoffs. I think he will get the win this week and go to 8 and 7. So I don't see him losing, and then Rich getting in. So we'll see. It just comes down to me and Rich.
Like I said, you looks like you just need to win, and you're golden. So
Yep. Well, I hope everybody followed that and halfway understood what we were talking about. I feel like I just mumbled through like 15 minutes of just like
Dude.
nonsense, but either way, we've enjoyed doing the podcast this year. We didn't have a special guest lined up today. We do have one for next week. And so we'll get into that. I know a couple of you have not been on the podcast yet, and I've tried to reach out to almost everybody, but if you do have any interest, let us know. We have a few weeks left. Jake, we had talked about maybe doing a live podcast in a few weeks. I don't know if we want to maybe incorporate that with this chili and Chiefs party. We'll have to brainstorm. What are you thinking?
I mean, why not kill 2 birds with 1 stone? I think we can, and it doesn't have to be a super long podcast. Maybe we can do it for the championship / Squid Bowl. And we can have our commission on. Well, I'm not even gonna tell you what we're gonna have on. We have a bunch of ideas, but but there's talk of a live podcast, and we will throw out a date. We got to talk to a couple vendors about some stuff, but we'll throw out a date.
I mean, we don't have to talk about all this now. So championship Sunday for fantasy is the 2nd
of January.
Yeah. So this week,
Obviously.
the 11th is the 14th. Next week is the playoffs, and then we got 3 weeks of the playoffs.
Ooh, so that's a Sunday. So that's after New Year's Day. So I mean,
we'll see if we could get a championship week. We had also talked about doing a highball event / maybe a Chiefs party. The Chiefs play at 3:25 on the 26th. That might be a good time to do it. Carmen's coming in town the next day, so we'll see. We'll keep you guys posted, but watch out for that.
But yeah, stay tuned for dates. But I think a live podcast is in the works, which I think would be one of the better things this league has pulled off.
Yeah. You want to say anything you got any messages for any members of the league this week before we go?
Yeah, it's and like I said, we're not trying to be mean or pick on anyone, but all I gotta say is if you're gonna do a backdoor deal, under the table deal, which we have pretty much text message confirmation of, be discreet. Don't be ratting yourself out, or just better yet, don't even do the deal. You're compromising the integrity of the league, and no one else does it. Anyone else can do under the table deals, so don't do it. There's a couple people I think in our league, I'm not going to name names, who are compromised, and are just here to stir shit up. So my advice would be quit doing it. And Grant, you need to come down with some sort of punishment for people who are involved in that if you're not involved yourself. I know there's a joke last year about me being the deputy of the commissioner or whatever, which was a joke, but also I will do it. And if you want me to do it, I will do it. And I will find out if you're doing shady deals. I think there needs to be punishment because that's ridiculous and it makes the league not fun. And other people think this, they just don't say it out loud. So I'm speaking on behalf of a couple members of the league. And if you have a problem, you want to talk about it, I'm here to talk about it, but don't do it anymore because it makes the league not fun. It's cheating. And there's 100 other leagues people can get in if they want to that don't do that. So my advice would be well, actually, I'm not going to give my advice because I'll probably get in trouble. So, but I would, and I don't want anyone to go off the deep end, but just be a good person and quit cheating, quit doing under table deals. If you want to make under table bets with each other, that's fine, but don't be shady and don't be freaking weasels.
Amen. I couldn't have said it any better myself. One thing I will add on top of that is this year, as the season winds down and we look into next year, I am going to formally propose a term limit of our commissioner for the league and the front office jobs. I don't think that this should be a kingship where you are there for life. I think that we need to have some checks and balances installed with all of the stuff that's happened. And it's not just the backdoor deals or whatever. We've had some slips through the cracks over the years with rules. We've had some, items getting talked about way too late in the season. We can't get everything voted on. And I'm not saying that, I'm not blaming anybody, and I'm not saying that it's going to be better or that everybody has to be perfect, but I just think we should rotate and have everybody take a turn at it. And maybe when we have this league for 60 years and everybody's had a chance to be in charge, we will have a little more grace for each other. And when people are in those positions, they'll understand what it takes to run the league. And so it's not just a punishment for the people in charge, but I think it would just be good for everybody to just spread that power around and maybe have some checks and balances with that. So I will propose it. We'll vote on it, of course, but anyway.
One other thing is the payouts, playoff payouts. That's still not decided. That should have been decided in July. Me and Spelly have what we think the payout should be, and it needs to be decided from our commissioner or vote on before the playoffs start. And
I say I think it needs to be decided before the games start on Thursday.
Well, there we go. Let's do that. So we have 24 hours, literally, to decide. So Grant, either put out a vote or make a decision, or we'll do it.
Amen. All right. With that, thank you guys for listening. Appreciate you. Hopefully you have a great rest of the week. We look forward to the final week of the regular season. Good luck to all the teams out there, especially for the ones battling for seeding and or getting into the playoffs. And we'll get through this, guys. So thanks for hanging with us. But with that, good luck and thanks for being here, Posh.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.